fan. A lot of these guys. I'm curious if Varus is going to end up. We kind of saw a lot of his picture pop up. Obviously, Godvi has a great Varus record. We kind of talked about how this impacts LGD's vision, and it's kind of been a weird transition, but looks flawless on it anyway. Not going to see that Ari.
No, Ari's going to be banned away from RNG. They were paying attention to the last game. But that is an interesting ban away. Of course, we haven't seen so much of that. Rookie did pick it up just a little bit more recently, I believe. Godvi as well, deciding to grab that in his last couple of games.
Godvi's Ari is disgustingly good.
Yeah. Of course, Godvi just like, he brings back champions on his own as well. I mean, his Orianna did cause a resurgence there as well. We saw Rookie coming out with massive highlight plays on that champion, as well as a whole lot of other mid laners on the back of the fact that Godvi just decided that it'd be a good idea to pick it up. And of course, Xiaohu as well is a player that does like to go with the times here, and he's able to pick up a lot of different champions as well. But he is going to be banned away from him.
Kind way to put it. My big thing about Xiaohu, especially as he's been pulling out Jace, not that Jace hasn't been changed to the most recent patches, is that his champion pool is very small competitively. He's really only shown Azir and Cassiopeia and some Zera, so a lot of Shurima champions, and the meta shifted into him, and then that's when he became this great mid laner. So we've yet to see if Xiaohu, when the meta shifts away from Azir and Cassiopeia, if he can step up and fill that gap.
Well, he is going to lock in the Victor this time around. Godvi not going to grab that one, as Alistair going to be locked in as well. So some power picks available for RNG actually here, and no jungler is being taken. TBQ can grab the Gragas if he wants.
What you want to bet that Wushin is about to lock in a Vayne?
Yeah, I have a feeling that could happen. Of course, Sivir has been locked in for Imp. Of course, first pick for LGD, it was that Sivir. Unfortunately, decided that I'd overlook that one entirely, but it is going to be taken away first round. And that does mean that, you know, Vayne has been taken into the Sivir pick quite a lot.
Yep.
With varying success.
Yep.
But more recently has been going Vayne's way, of course. We're thinking about OMG's game. Uzi playing very well into the
You are not
Sivir.
bringing Uzi's Vayne stats up, are you? Because I can hit you with some hard, cold truth on those numbers.
Knowledge.
That is
very
not
recent knowledge. What about his last Vayne performance? Let's go off only
okay, he
that.
got a pentakill last time, but his Vayne stats are not favored. You know whose stats are favored is TBQ. So we're talking about signature champions.
So weird.
Lee Sin is his signature champion. He is undefeated on Lee Sin for this season.
My goodness, and he's picked it up quite a few times recently as well. It's not like he's only had one game or something like that. Still more than happy to grab it. And Lee Sin sort of found a little bit more relevance come this part of the sort of the meta as it's been shifting around. And Gragas is going to be locked in for MLXG, and Rumble there for Sky on the top side of the map as well. So not going to be having any more of that Scion action or anything like that, as LGD looking to round out their lineup if they can. And Acorn, he's locked in the Aurelia already.
Wow, the immediate response. I was going to say the Rumble takeaway is obviously a nod at Acorn, making sure that he can't get his hands on that champion as he started to kind of revert back to it when he's not able to get on that rise.
Godvi's got a smirk on his face.
I don't like it.
I wonder whether this is going to mean a switch over to something else here, as Kassadin might be a little bit more standard than Godvi's generally used to, but it is going to get locked in here. Godvi going to take that mobile assassin into the mid lane up against Xiaohu's Victor, and it could be a difficult matchup for Kassadin, but we say this so many times, and he still just seems to come out ahead.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tools to help out his laning phase to just make sure that he's able to just passively farm. There's not a ton of kill pressure without assistance from the jungler, excuse me, slurred my word on the end of that one, unless he's post level 6. So I'm just really curious how... Obviously, this is going to impact Godvi's impact in the early game because he's not going to be able to do much around on that Kassadin, and how that's going to impact TBQ. That said, taking Lee Sin, taking his signature champion, so trying to compensate for that.
Yeah, and also now that they have the Lee Sin on the lineup, as well as I guess the Sivir to a certain extent is going to help their early game, but it is going to be the Ezreal locked in for Whoosh. So the Alistair Ezreal lane for Oscar and for the bottom side against the Thresh and Sivir here on the side of LGD.
We've seen a lot of Ezreal being picked into Sivir, just like we've seen a lot of Corki being picked into Sivir, and vice versa, Ezreal versus Corki.
Yeah.
Ezreal has definitely started to make a creep back into the LPL. It's always been a favorite champion this time around.
Yeah.
Imp picking it up. I think he's played it 3 times now in the most current split.
Of course, Whoosh did pick it this time. So.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, but yeah, he actually picked it a couple of extra times. Of course, Sivir was his most recent pick, but Imp actually picking up the Ezreal a couple of times before that as well. But now Whoosh going to try his hand at the old Ezreal, as Aurelia, sort of one of those classic picks into Rumble, and Acorn going to try and take down one of his favorite champions. And TBQ into MLXG with the early game junglers. We'll see whether Lee Sin can find some more relevance in this game as we move forward.
They are so strong on the top side of the map, the Lee Sin Aurelia combo. And again, you know, compensating by picking a late game scaling mid laner by having that Lee Sin available in the jungle. Obviously, if you took a Sejuani, it'd almost be suicide to take a Kassadin because you'd have no pressure and the enemy team would be able to just walk into your jungle at any point. So I like the fact that they're kind of varying up their power. What's what I'm going to use? Power, not power spikes, but
yeah, or covering each other's power troughs.
There we go. Yeah, that's good.
It's the fact that Kassadin can
You should
make
be
it
a caster.
through that. Whoa! Hang on, I am. We nailed it. We did well. So Lee Sin looking to try and get a little bit more pressure around the map early. But let's stop talking about whether or not we should be casters and let's get into the game. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, our first game of this particular set, our second for the night, as LGD go up against RNG. Of course, it is the first day of week 7 of the LPL this time around. Godby and Jahu eyeing each other off here in the mid lane.
Is that the festive Kassadin skin?
Yep. And you know how, like, primary school kids use festive as a word to describe something that's gross?
No, I've never heard that.
Oh, okay.
In America.
Might be a localized thing. But
festive means Christmas, and we like that.
No. It does mean that here as well. Except if,
I have to explain this to you.
Okay.
Because the teams are setting up in a standard 5-point. It looks like it's going to be a standard 2v2 on the bot side. So it's winter in Australia and it's summer in America. Wasn't used to this. I was in a store and I saw some Christmas decorations sitting out because I don't know, maybe they don't stock their things. And so I got really excited. I was like, oh my god, it's winter in Australia. It's going to be Christmas.
It must be Christmas.
Thank God I didn't say it out loud or, like on stream.
I find it interesting that you decide, okay, let's get on air. And now let's reveal this to absolutely everyone, as opposed to just, standing in the lobby, having a discussion about some silly decision that you made in the store. Oh my goodness. Well, look, no, not going to be Christmas anytime soon. Of course, we are halfway through the year, so only another 6 months to wait for Oscar, and you will be celebrating all of your festive activities with Godby that you like. Godby starting early, though.
Sky, knowing that the double jungle was going on, so Acorn making sure that he gets the 1v1 was taking the experience, so he decides to pull the wave, so all the minions will target him as well as burn his flamethrower on that, so he's trying to deny as much experience as possible from Acorn here.
Acorn actually deciding to take down some popcorn chickens as well, so
he has to at this point.
Yeah, just needs to try and get some of that extra experience back. So TBQ going to help out, and Sky's actually going to back away from this minion wave as well. Just going to get an early shot in.
Yeah, trying to, effectively bounce the wave. Doesn't quite get it, but he'll be fine. It'll reset a little bit closer to Acorn's tower than he would have liked. Bax picks up an extra ward as well as some pots, and he's ready to go.
Yeah, 4 CS each, but of course Popcorn Chicken's not worth quite as much here. So Acorn and Sky relatively close. Doran's blade to the Doran's shield.
He should get level 2. There he goes. I was going to say, he should get level 2 in like 1 creep.
Yeah, Sky.
It's just a very cute adaptation as an answer to the...
Yeah, it's happened a lot as far as top laners go. It's when do you get to the lane? When do you stop the jungle? As DBQ is going to be able to start off his blue buff. Some very easy jungle clears for both of these junglers. Gragas is certainly able to get his way around the jungle very, very effectively as Acorn just blade surging around this minion wave. Does have a massive stack here, so Sky's going to be pretty comfortable. Does get an equilibrium strike.
Let's talk about the power spikes of Aurelia versus Rumble. So Rumble is going to be an level-based champion, and Aurelia is an item-based champion. Although, as I want to set up this explanation, they look like they're about to gank each other. Aurelia's power spike is going to come at level 5, and then obviously another power spike when she completes her Trinity Force, because again, item-based champion. The reason why level 5 is because she has enough points in her W where she can pretty much out-trade anyone with the lifesteal. TBQ getting a little bit cheeky. And then Rumble's power spike is going to be at level 4 because, again, enough points in his flamethrower where it's very hard to trade effectively with him. And then multiple power spikes on his levels of his equalizer, so level 11 and things like that.
Yeah, actually Rumble a very interesting champion because he does also spike a little bit with the magic penetration as well, coming through from the Sorcerer's Shoes. Abyssal Scepter potentially, and of course the Haunting guys that he does like to build. But
we will definitely see an Abyssal with a Gragas jungle and Alistar support.
So much. necessity there. Of course, Sky able to deal with sort of this 2v2, mostly because Acorn will be doing a fair bit of mixed damage, considering Equilibrium Strike and Transcendent Blades both doing magic damage as well, so it's fine to build some of that magic resist at the same time as being able to hurt your opponent a little bit.
But you immediately see the trade of power as soon as Rumble has his level 4, because his damage is just absurd at this point.
How many champions spike at level 4? I mean, I feel like Rumble's like one of the only ones.
Corky will as well, because Ezreal kind of, it's about getting the multiple points. You just have to think it's about trading, and so when Corky gets level 4, he gets multiple points in his Phosphorus Bomb, and just that power spike, the difference between level 1 to level 2, helps him out-trade majority of the matchups that he's going to face in the bottom lane. So that's why they say that. And then the trick for Aurelia typically, or how you do the combo correctly, is you want to walk up into melee range to hit the equalizer, and then you want to
Descens lands in the bottom lane here as Imp able to get some damage across. Nice boomerang down as well as Godby's going to get stunned up. Xiaohu is burning from that ignite. Turns it around. Godby with the Force Pulse locks down the kill. They might be able to get MLXG as well. Down to about 200 health. TBQ lands the Q. Is going to die for it, but that's 2 for 1. Kassadin now 1-0-1, and Godby's Kassadin is ridiculous.
This was huge as well, because that's a massive minion wave that Godby just pushed into the tower. So not only does he pick up the kill and the assist, but Xiaohu loses all of that experience and all of that gold to the tower. We talked about how Kassadin really shouldn't have any kill pressure on Victor pre-level 6. He just killed him in a 2v1.
Yeah, what was that? It was absolutely ridiculous. Turning it around, picked up everything that he could. Of course, just manages to get the level 6 in time to get that Riftwalk combo. And look, Xiaohu, just not a whole lot he could do. He had the cleanse, but what are you going to cleanse?
Godby is so aggressive on every single champion he plays. He does this with Victor and Orianna as well. He'll always stand on the back half of the caster creeps, and he'll just like, I dare you. It's almost like Uzi in lane. Every single creep you want to take, every single time you step forward, he will trade a spell or an auto on you.
See whether he continues to. Now with the Lucidity Boots and the Blasting one, so lots of extra power. And cooldown reduction is something that's interesting on Kassadin because
necessity.
He's a lot more sort of mana-gated though, so having extra cooldown reduction means you use a lot more of it. But more than happy to pick that one up. Wants to be able to drive forward in this lane.
See, look what Godby's doing here. High mobility champion immediately walks to the flanks and wards. When he plays someone like Varus, when he plays someone like Kog'Maw, it's the vision that suffers the most for LGD because he is key to their flanking and deep vision.
Godby actually just
Thank you, Godby.
Rolling around. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for illustrating exactly what I was talking about. Love you, man.
Acorn though is just going to push out this wave. Sky didn't actually go back there, so he's going to have that one for free, but Acorn just wanted to grab himself a back. Hasn't been able to just yet. And look at the Force Pulse damage.
He's trying to use a choke point with his gravitational field.
Yeah, MLXG does find his way over there. Gravitational field is going to do some work. But Xiaohu, there's another Riftwalk. Godby's just using all of his mana bar, but that is both the jungler and the mid lane are now unable to fight.
He just walked in, dropped a deep ward, punched 2 people in the face, and returned to farming.
Yeah.
No fear.
That was him walking all the way through RNG's red side jungle towards the top lane, then did exactly the same throughout the bottom side. And he's still 20 CS ahead.
PYL now looking for gank.
Can't find Xiaohu just yet. Spidey senses were tingling.
I love old Godby and I love LGD when they're assembled like this and it's about their vision control. They're very creative about how they pick up with team fights. Always watch for, during dragons, how Godby will position on the back of the dragon pit and go in simultaneously with TBQ from multiple angles.
Yeah, and it's the fact that all this assassin play is coming back as well. It just really suits Godby. His assassin play is just so beautiful.
And this is what we were so afraid with Xiaohu, but hold on. Contest on this blue buff.
Actually, TBQ does land the Sonic Wave. We'll see whether he goes in, decides not to, waits that one out. But there's the teleport, the flayback on MLXG after the death sentence. Godby picks up another kill. Chaos Storm's down as Lei's going to jump out of there. Decent equalizer from Sky's going to zone away a lot of people, but Lei's going to die. Sky immediately removed as well. It's a double kill. There's the reset from Imp, and he picks himself up too at the same time. Whoosh, he wants to just add himself to the list, I think. Actually able to get a little bit of decent damage down, but Godby, he's in one more time. The box is down. Force Pulse there. Imp comes in for the last hit, and this coordination from LGD is honestly what was missing at the early stages of this split.
Godby just murdered half the team, picked up the blue buff, returns, and continues to murder the team. Meanwhile, LGD, using their resources and numbers perfectly, take the blue buff, the team fight, and the dragon. Oh my god. We talked about, you know, different multiple points of entry into a team fight. Godby from straight over the wall as soon as TBQ sets up the insect. Just hand-delivered, hand-fed in there. We do have some nice AoE damage going down, but Xiaohu, because of that early kill, he's just not powerful enough to deal with this Castle, and they just get right on top of him, run everyone over, combining that AoE damage between the ricochets and the Castle, what is it, Force Pulse?
Yep.
Beautiful play. And then Godby, you'll see at the very bottom of the screen, walk back over, grab the blue buff, return just in time to kill Ezreal.
And he's now 82 CS to 51, so 31 CS in the lead. Now 1 dragon to nothing in favor of LGD. 4,000 gold lead at 10 minutes into the game.
What are they, 8th right now in LPL? 9th?
Yeah, doesn't look like an 8th place team.
Look
that
at
was
the
just
9th place team. There was a hand motion. It was like Vanna White.
Yep, I liked it a lot. That's Lucidity Boots and Rod of Ages completed at 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Typically, you average around 15 minutes with the Roa. It takes about 10 minutes to stack, so you hit that 25-minute fully stacked Roa. 10 minutes? Oh, 3-0 and 4 Kassadin. That's not what you want.
100% good confession here for Godby at the same time. So he's having the game of his life at the moment on a champion that he's definitely able to carry on, and a champion that shouldn't be doing this well early on.
But they were able to make those advanced plays early in the game because of the deep vision that Godby had set up beforehand on a high mobility champion. All I'm saying, called it in chance select.
Certainly did. You've illustrated this one very, very well, Frostgrave.
It'll be illustrated more, don't worry.
I now understand. Well, Sky is zoned away from his turret completely here as Acorn's pushing that wave forward. P-Whale is going to get smited. MLXG doesn't want him to be inside this jungle. There's an E over the wall as Whoosh. They are going to be able to lock down this Thresh for a little while. Xiaohu picks that one up with a Death Ray. P-Whale maybe just a little bit too aggressively placed. Godby's been waiting in this brush forever. And Sky's just going to get auto-attacked to death. There is the Force Pulse as well. Godby doing so much damage. TBQ probably would have liked to land that Q, but it doesn't matter as Acorn locks down the kill with an EQ combo. Or a QE combo, if you're going to talk about the order correctly. Man, LGD looking unstoppable, apart from POL just falling down.
Yep. They look like they did in the Xiaogu series, which, I mean, you talked about how at the beginning of the split they kind of stumbled, you know, they didn't have PYL. Yeah. And even when they got him back, it still looked a little bit questionable as far as their draft phases. But last week against Xiaogu, when they broke the 100% win streak from Xiaogu's blue side, LGD looked like a completely different animal, returning to their old ways that we saw in their best of 5 against EDG in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Imp as well. You can see 1v2 going so aggressively here on the bottom side of the map. Uses the spell shield there as well. Flayback, the ignites down. Whoosh! He's burning to death. Is he going to survive? Triumphant Roar! It is going to be there, so that's going to save his life. Whoosh survives this one for now, but Imp was playing that so far up and so aggressively.
Imp is so confident with outputting his damage and maximizing it with the auto reset.
Oh, there's the headbutt pulverize. Oh, takes the lantern. Imp still burning? Still burning? No, he's going to survive.
Both AD carries survive off the last tick of Ignite.
Yeah, their fire
here comes
resistance
Godby.
Pretty high. Yeah, Godby looking to find his way in. Whoosh now back up to about 300 health. Not going to save him, though. Just deciding to go for a dive is Godby. A little bit over-aggressive. Explosive cast down.
That
so
CC.
Much CC available. Riftwalk's going to be there. Godby's going to be able to escape this one, and it's close. And in the end, they grab the turret.
I'm still going to give that one to RNG. That was beautiful to watch. Meanwhile,
you're not going to give that one to them as Sky is going to fall down on the top side of the map. TBQ being omnipresent this game. 1-1-6 now. Delivers a kill to his top laner.
Undefeated on Lee Sin for the season.
Yeah, POL takes a massive amount of damage here from Xiaohu, so POL needs to be a little bit careful. He's not quite one of the fed members of the team at the moment.
LGD have just cracked this game wide open, not only in the towers, but in the gold, and they're very quickly starting to rift walk away with it.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
6,000 gold in 13 minutes, though. That's pretty absurd, and Acorn's just going to extend that even further. And this is a team that is sort of built around control of minion waves, of objectives, everything. LGD sort of being handed them on a silver platter now just because they can pressure RNG off everything.
But they're very proactive about it, which is why I really like watching LGD. I think they're a very fun team to watch because they're not just a lot of LPL teams like King. They're just very reactive. You know, if you make a bad play, we can punish you. But LGD, they're proactive. They set up these deep wards. They look to force you to make a mistake so they can punish you as efficiently, as effectively as any elite LPL team.
Yeah. All off the back of TBQ's early skirmishing play, and of course Godby just being pretty good in the mid lane.
Is that your professional opinion?
I was probably going to go with a few more possibilities there. But Sky, he's going to get soloed out by Acorn here. You can see as well at the same time. Godby does get discovered. Can't exactly 1v4 at the moment, and Xiaohu gets a kill back.
Way too overzealous right there, so good job from RNG. We've seen them do this when they played against Snake. I like to call it their turtle. They just kind of clump together and they never separate. They hold hands and they walk around the map as 5.
Well, it did seem to work just there. Sky even survived, I believe, in the top lane. Not sure whether Acorn managed to lock down that kill. No, still 2-0 and 2. But Sky is still 0-3 and 0, so not exactly having a great time.
Not quite sure what LGD are doing on the top side of the map since Dragon's spawning in 13 seconds, unless they're looking for a possible dive on Sky at Tier 2 tower at 15 minutes.
Yeah, looking to probably just make sure.
Oh, he wants the red buff. That's what they want.
Red buff is going to get taken here. POL says that he's helping, but don't worry about it too much. Dark Passage is going to get TBQ a little bit closer to the Dragon, but no one on RNG is around it. Of course, they're getting shoved so far in. 3 turrets to 0 now. RNG have lost their whole outer ring. And with all of the deep vision, as you were talking about earlier on, I believe you mentioned deep vision maybe once or twice.
Maybe.
And look, Godby here on the bottom side is going to split push this one in. But you can see, yeah, LGD, there's no rush to take this Dragon just because there's no way RNG are getting there without being seen. Oh, death sentence on the Whoosh.
What you gonna do, PYL? Just be annoying?
Exactly right. Stop the backs. TBQ smites it away.
They're doing a great job with their lane resources, making sure that God v Imp and Acorn are never in the same lane, so maximizing all of the gold that all 3 of those lanes are outputting, while PYL and TBQ just kind of move around to every important objective on the map as far as monsters, so the red buff, then immediately into the Dragon.
Well, Whoosh has at least completed his Manamune. He's got that one. Phage there as well, going towards what I could only assume is that Trinity Force. Probably not going to be going Black Cleaver on the blue Ezreal, or the semi-blue Ezreal. Interesting. But Pistol Scepter is going to be the option of choice here for Xiaohu as well in the mid lane. Wants to try and mitigate as much of Godby's damage as he possibly can. I can understand that one, but he's now falling drastically behind in the farm.
At this point, the most important objective for LGD to secure is going to be that mid-tier second tower because it gives them the most passive control over the map because your minions are able to go down farther. They have a ton of wards placed in enemy blue side, so you're going to constantly see PYL and probably TBQ at some point after he hands off this blue hang out in this area to make the most of the fact that they've expended their gold and placed these wards on the side. They're looking for a pick. They're going to create 2 different pressure points, one in the mid lane, one in the bot side, and eventually RNG are going to make a mistake rotating the shorter route in between that jungle and over LGD's vision, or they're just going to slowly lose their towers.
Yeah, or they're just going to get out-rotated. You're exactly right. So RNG need to make some decisive move. Equalizer going to be used nowhere near a turret because Sky just wants some semblance of an ability to keep up in farm. He's actually doing fine. He's only down 16 in a lane that he's been honestly crushed in.
I like how they're fighting over Raptors. They want to fight so badly that they're like, just fight over the Raptor camp. Ult over it.
Fight over everything. Imp though making his presence known here. Sky just saying, where is my team? I need help. So there's 4 people from LGD here on the top side of the map. Imp is going to start pushing this one down as well, almost towards that static shiv. Is this Sivir. Death Sentence not going to find its mark here from PYL, but try and get something happening. Dark Passage comes through to help him out.
Rotating Godby, likewise in the bottom side. They're just pulling RNG around. Think of RNG as like a tiny little dog on the leash that LG has.
And being offered different things from a whole lot of different food bowls, and then having it taken away every time he gets there. It's a very sad analogy. Because there's the death sentence on MLXG. He's going to have the body slam. Nice play to come out of POL though as Force Pulse comes in.
Good gravitation field right there.
Yeah, zoning gravitational field.
The zoning hemoplague.
It's not a hemoplague. Oh, Godby though locks down at least some minions there as Whoosh does have the overshield popped. Center turret now under fire. TBQ does land the Q.
Don't do it.
Ooh, Lee Sin Itis almost kicking in here as there's the headbutt pulverized. Lei almost taking his whole health in damage though. Imp going very aggressive. LGD just take it as poke and continue the pressure.
For the last 5 minutes, they've had every single wave pushed onto these towers, slowly chipping away at the structures.
And Sky now as well relegated into defending out that top wave as well. You could see no one actually fell down, but that inner turret just whittled away ever so slowly, and this gold lead's only stretching almost 9,000 at 20 minutes into the game. And you talk about 10,000 gold leads, and that was even before the Dragon change, even last season. 10,000 gold at 20 minutes is close to insurmountable. And RNG are finding themselves with a massive uphill battle at this point.
RNG have been playing the response to LGD's initial control fairly well. After failing the skirmish in the team fight over the Dragon and the blue buff, they've stopped majority of the bleeding and have done a great job making sure that no one else is getting picked up, staying together. The problem is that they're just not able to rotate quickly enough, and they don't have the same wave clear options that LGD have on multiple members.
It's just the split push. The fact that Cassidy and Aurelia exist on this team for LGD.
You can't duel them either at this point in the game.
No,
you're going to have to commit more than one resource to stop Godby, which is why he's on the bottom side of the map. Because as soon as RNG probably have to commit either 2 or 3, depending on the members, that's a free Baron.
Yeah, Godby as well decides to pick up a needlessly large rod. He's got an extra amplifying tome there as well, possibly going towards Zhonya's Hourglass as the second big item. Often these Cassidans will sit on that Fiendish Codex for quite some time.
Oh, that's mean. Making sure that they walked in through the bottom side so that the fog of war, they were out of sight of the creep line. He knows.
Yeah. No,
or he's suspicious.
He is. Oh, if he wants to get these backline minions.
Flash Flay, PYL, I believe. Look at him lean over. They're talking to each other.
Oh, Death Sentence lands though. Arcane Shift not going to be enough. Why is there a pause? Oh my goodness! You can see, I think Whoosh might die.
His face, he's...
Govey's like, I wonder what I do from here. Do I keep doing my buttons at the Ezreal? I have a feeling I probably do. He's just looking like, yeah, it's all in a daze. This is exactly what I expect to do every single game. Get ridiculously far ahead on Cassidy.
That was a max range hook in between the creep wave. Oh, Whoosh's face must be... I knew it. He thought it was the other wall, too. He was throwing his Mystic Shock towards Grob because he thought, oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, just wasn't watching, didn't have his finger on the E. Of course, you don't expect there to be 2 members sitting in that brush for upwards of, 40-odd seconds. They're waiting for you to move far enough forward.
You can't see, but PYL's smiling right now.
I'd have a feeling that he would be. You can see it in his eyes, Actually, no. He's looking like he's definitely throwing out some orders here, making sure that he's getting his team to stay in line with what they want to be doing this game.
Yeah, they're not styling.
Not trolling or not having any...
No, they've done a great job. So we talked about, the last 5 minutes, LGD, one of the best things that they're good at. And again, going back to not only their vision control, but just their wave management in general. Acorn is fantastic at wave management. He did this for Samsung Blue when he was back in Korea. He does it fantastically for LGD. They're one, even from behind, trying to close out a game against LGD is very hard to do because they never put themselves in a position where their minion waves aren't equal or pushing onto you. Yeah. So you always have to win a team fight and then reset the pressure on the map and then look for an objective as opposed to, hey, we won a team fight and all of our creep waves are pushing, so now we get to win the team fight and take your entire base. But Godby on high mobility champions, Ahri this time on Katzen, you see it immediately going into that split push. He does the same thing on LeBlanc and even on Orianna sometimes. Yeah,
a little bit. He actually just likes to split push on whichever champion he is. Oh, actually, PYL fell down on the bottom side of the map. Of course, I believe, did Whoosh actually... What? Where?
They teleported. We're now on the top side of the map.
Got it. Okay, well, Godby and TBQ looking to turn this one around. Lay just gets insta-killed here as Sky taking a lot of damage. Misses the Harpoon, but does manage to land the second one.
He tried to dodge the second one. Just the little micro things that he's doing. He sidesteps the first one, and then he tries to dodge the second one by using the creep wave, trying to use a minion as a shield.
So cute. Well, Whoosh has managed to pick himself up a Sheen. He's heading towards that Trinity Force as quickly as he possibly can. Imp, though, almost on 3 items for this Sivir, so Static Shift was completed almost towards that last Whisper with that pickaxe now in hand.
This game is 7 minutes sped up. You have to think typical AD carries will get their core around...
It's crazy.
27 to 30 minutes.
And remember as well, this is Godby now with a fully stacked Rod of Ages at 22 minutes into the game. And that's been fully stacked for an extra 2 minutes on top of that as well. 5, 1, and 6 now as well. Zhonya's completed. Does have a Fiendish Codex sitting in his back pocket. Now probably... could be going towards a whole host of different items. Would you recommend sort of that reset build with the Athene's Unholy Breath?
As far as the mana gen? Oh, here we go.
Yep, we're going to find it. Oh, that beautiful Death Sentence lands. And
nice.
See, having a look at Imp. And Wushin is going to eventually fall down. So look, the death sentence was the main thing, ladies and gentlemen, as Lay, he's going to get discovered by Godby with his famous, I'm just going to pink water brush and wait in it for as long as possible. LGD going to continue clearing out vision from RNG.
Here we go, though, finally getting to Siege. Oh, Cask! Beautiful.
Oh my goodness, that spell shield was wonderful as Xiaohu going to get a little bit of damage down on the POL. Chaos Storm's there as well. Shields coming through from everything. POL is going to survive. True Shot Barrage not going to find him.
Did he just walk out of that?
He just wandered casually to the right, I believe. Or the left. Not entirely sure. I believe it was the left. Godby now flanking as well. Imp has just been playing so far up. Not afraid of towers at all. As Elsphere going to do a fair bit of work on Wish.
He sat through 4 seconds of Chaos Storm.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
And then casually strolled past the Ezreal ult.
He did have to have his whole team throw as much work at him as possible. I believe TBQ used both his Locket of the Solari and Safeguard to save PWL because he didn't want to use his flash.
Here we go.
Yep, Sky's going to die in the top lane as well. Nice equalizer though, as Imp's going to get taken down.
Okay, good collapse.
Yeah, it was nicely done. Acorn might get taken down here. There's the flash from LNG. Doesn't find the knock-up though, but Gravitational Field is going to do some work. Acorn not stunned for as long due to the Ionian Fervor.
And again, yeah, RNG are very far behind. We've now gone to that 10k gold discrepancy between these two teams, but they're actually doing a fairly good job playing from as far behind as they did. Again,
yeah.
Everything snowballed out of control over this blue fight, as well as the initial dragon fight, which allowed Gavi to just become this unstoppable monster, 5, 1, and 6 now on the Kassadin. But otherwise, they've been doing a great job making sure that they stay together, trying to maintain vision control over their own jungle, and picking up small picks and skirmishes when they can. They know that they can't fight for the dragons. They know that they can't fight for the barons, so they're not even putting themselves in a risky situation to contest.
Yeah, just not worrying about it. Possibly until that 5th dragon mark when LGD will really take some control. It will now be about 9 minutes, I'd say, approximately, until that 5th dragon will be a possibility, assuming LGD manage to take the next one in a reasonably quick amount of time after it spawns. And RNG now playing around a couple of, I guess, power spikes-ish, if you can call them that.
Just playing with picks and vision.
Yeah, explosive cast is going to be used. Speaking of picks, their headbutt from Laban misses the pulverize. True Shot Barrage was actually a bit of a cynical one, considering the fact that it managed to hit him after the headbutt missed.
That's really unfortunate. But again, they're doing a good job, you know, standing in interesting areas where they suspect that there might not be vision, trying to path through fog of war, setting up these cute little picks because they know, we can't team fight. We just need to find and shore up this gold discrepancy in any way that we can. So I guess props to RNG from playing from behind.
Yeah, finding as much as they can. And of course, Trinity Force now completed as well as that Manamune from Whoosh. And we've got the Leandri's Torment there as well. But that's a Baron going down very, very quickly from LGD. They do peel off. Riftwalk is used on the hunt, has been popped though. Look at the pulse damage. Manages to turn it around with a nice equalizer. Godby going down very low, but there's the Zhonya's as Lay with the Unbreakable Will trying to be a menace. Oh, that is going to be... Oh, Godby back into the fight now as well as Imp's going to take down Xiaohu. MLXG over the wall. The Boomerang doing so much work. Double kill for Imp. Godby falls down, but it is going to be the cleanup from RNG. Whoosh actually dancing around this fight quite nicely as POL looking to try and get TBQ in there. Oh, Sonic Wave doesn't land. And Whoosh just being very frustrating. Death sentence from close to max range means that Imp is going to lock down the kill. LGD, they lose Godby. They take the team fight and the Baron.
1 for 5. There's the free Baron. And you know that they just committed so hard on Godby. They saw that that team fight was over. They all in onto the cast, and we just got to kill him.
Yep, just got to kill Godby. As it is 5, 2, and 7 now for that champion as well. So not necessarily with as much kill participation as he had from before, but he's doing some work. 15,000 gold the lead for LGD at 27 minutes. Imp just going to move towards his minion wave because he saw a bunch of red dots and he's going to destroy that. And now LGD just need to break the base.
I think LGD are oppressive with their minion control when they don't have Baron. They are one of the scariest teams to face when they do.
Especially with a split pushing comp like this. There's going to be so many Baroned up minions heading towards that those inhibitor turrets very, very quickly. And they were able to siege without Baron. Now LGD have that one. A whole lot of extra gold here as well as Acorn just dancing around that minion wave, clearing them all out. And Sky trying his very best to push this one up while he's got some time.
He's rushing back. They've been caught up by the red buff. You could see the fear in his eyes, though.
Oh, yeah.
He thought that he had overextended.
Well, he's not wanting to go anywhere near anything. As soon as it's dark, Sky is very, very scared.
They effectively have 4 feet off of their second-tier towers, and that's about all the control over the map they have.
Yep.
And that's questionable at best if all 5 members of LGD are there.
They do have a trail towards Dragon, though, of vision here for RNG.
A smattering.
Yeah, there's some breadcrumbs towards the area. TBQ looking to try and make his presence known around the top inner turret. Godby now as well split pushing on the bottom side. You can see covering all of the lanes.
With Baron buff.
Yeah, 2 members strong in the top side. Acorn just waiting off in the wings. As TBQ does manage to land the Q. MLXG taking a drink, wandering out of the brush, and they are going to try and defend this inner turret. Godby actually headed back to base, picked up a Luden's Echo now. So he's got a lot of burst damage. There's the death sentence onto Sky, though. Imp turns his attention to him. Lots of damage down, but the inner turret falls on the top side of the map. And LGD just continue taking objectives. MLXG waiting off to the side, looking for a barrel on someone as Imp at about half health, just going to be able to take down this dragon. Basically when it spawned, and they're moving towards a 20,000 gold.
I mean, at this point, because every member just has so much more gold than the enemy team, you need 3 people to kill.
Thankfully, you know, Imp's finished his Renan's Hurricane, so he's ready to build his next item. The standard super build.
That's the the staple.
Yeah, you can really...
well, it's going to help him push.
Yeah, and you can take Wolf Camp really easily as well.
I mean, that's all he's been doing is the static shiv into the Hurricane, into the Ricochet, into the Boomerang Blade.
Yeah.
These creep waves don't stand a chance.
Imp is he's an interesting player. Godby versus 4 members of RNG.
Who
I don't
will
even
die?
know who my money's on at this stage. As there's a lantern, spots out every member of RNG waiting for that one.
PYL is no fun.
Nope. I was waiting for Godby just to rift walk in there.
I just wanted to see it trade 1 for 1.
Imp did go back. He picked himself up a Vampiric Scepter, so that's about as defensive as Imp's going to get this game. Just grabbing some lifesteal for himself. TBQ standing on top of a ward here just outside the RNG base as LGD. No one's down on the side of RNG, but they know that they can't fight this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they need to be looking to next game. You know, what do we change in our draft phase? How do we go about this? And I talked about Xiaohu versus, and specifically because he is versus Godby. Godby has a massive champion pool, I think second only really to Pawn, who's played 21 unique champions since joining the LPL. Xiaohu's champion pool has been very suspect. He's actually on, you know, someone that he finds a bit more comfort on in Azir as that control mage. But, you know, he's been experimenting with Jinx, or not Jinx, with Jace, with Varus, and it's just not connecting with him. So again, like you said, as we move more towards the assassin meta, is Xiaohu going to fall off? Will he be able to trade up? Did he just?
Yeah, he rift walked on top of the land and force pulsed the whole team for so much damage. He is going to be the teleport in though. Nice use of explosive cast because Acorn is going to pick up the aggro of the turret, and LGD going to take down their next inhibitor turret of the game. Acorn taking a fair bit of damage there from MLXG. Nice double knock up there from Lazy. Pops the Unbreakable Will. True Drop Barrage coming through. LGD trying to turn this one around on RNG, and it's looking a little bit too easy for this squad as look at how much damage Godby does, and especially Imp just tearing apart the members of this side. PYL gets the last kill. It's a triple for Imp, and they take down the structures. LGD with an incredibly dominant performance, and off the back of the Demacia Cup, it makes a whole lot of sense that they're able to get so much work done now.
They looked rejuvenated, revived, and absolutely terrifying right now. No team plays the map better than LGD.
You can see.
Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas indeed. And you can see Xiaohu on your screen right now. Not very happy with how that one went. And of course, that early game, it was the 1-0-1 Kassadin that just went back, got a Blasting Wand and some Lucidity Boots and just